You have to take care of us until I figure out my path. Quinn's voice snapped, demanding and overbearing. Money, time, freedom. All of it was thrust onto my shoulders. I didn't hesitate. I cut off all support, stopping transfers, canceling insurance, deleting accounts. Calls couldn't go through, transactions were denied. Messages piled up like a mountain. Quinn, Mom, and Dad panicked. Quinn screamed for help. Mom cried and begged. Dad grew frantic. Their authority crumbled before my eyes. The life that had once relied on me collapsed due to my decisive actions. Helpless and regretful, they could only wail and stand powerless. That day, Quinn leaned in the kitchen doorway, hands on her hips, glaring at me. Mom stood behind her, forehead lined with worry. Dad paced near the counter, uneasy. I'm serious, Quinn repeated, her voice rising. I quit my job. You're covering all expenses like always, rent, car bills. It's your turn. I slowly closed my laptop, feeling the weight of past sacrifices. Last year I transferred $35,000 for her debts, $3,000 for a failed online course, countless small expenses that crushed my own dreams. I reached for my phone and methodically removed Quinn from the family phone plan, canceled her car insurance, and stopped monthly allowances. Every click severed the invisible cord that had tied me to her for years. The reaction was immediate. Quinn's calls kept coming. Mom sent all-caps texts, guilt-laden accusations. Someone hacked our accounts, fraud alerts. I'm destroying the family. I didn't reply. Dad left a brief voicemail, demanding an explanation. Aunt Lynn, normally a mediator, called within an hour, polite but probing. I refused to answer. I stayed silent, watching the notifications pile up like unpaid bills. For the first time, quiet was mine. For years, I had been the family's expected victim, absorbing debts, shame, and disappointment. Today it ended. 2 years earlier, I had finally saved enough for my first condo in Mesa. Countless nights of overtime, giving up social life, scrimping and saving. The pre-approval letter sat in my drawer, a reminder of what should have been mine. Until one night, Dad called, panic in his voice. Quinn had maxed her credit cards. Collection agencies threatened wage garnishment. $35,000 vanished instantly. I transferred it without hesitation. The condo contract was pulled. Life stalled. That night, I understood my role in the family, perpetual provider, problem solver. Over the years, Quinn tried countless courses, failed investments, chasing flashy, short-lived ventures. Mom praised me for making it all possible. Dad nodded silently, defaulting to her dependence. Bryce, my boyfriend, saw it all. He once told me, "You're not their retirement plan." The word stuck, yet fear kept me compliant. Until that morning when Quinn's arrogance lit a spark. I made the final cut. No more transfers, no more cards, no more enabling. The long-delayed Raleigh position shown on my laptop screen. Senior analyst, double pay, escape route. I accepted with goals and a rare, subtle joy. Flight booked. I was now the architect of my freedom. Mom called, pleading, manipulating, citing heart problems, painting Quinn's fragile future. I calmly listened, handed her water. On 4th of July, she clutched her chest, real health scare, but cleverly used to manipulate. I ignored the theatrics, focused on spreadsheets, every dollar rebuilding myself. Bryce stood by my shield. Quinn's online course ended in failure. Her YouTube plan demanded endless money. Mom's praise became a shackle. I charted past sacrifices clearly. This time I held the upper hand. I could break the cycle. And I did. The family's response was immediate. Quinn couldn't reach me. Dad's voicemail confirmed I was no longer automatic support. Mom's messages escalated, guilt-laden. Aunt Lynn intervened, leaking my Raleigh plan to family, framing my move as betrayal. Every interaction was a chess move. I executed them precisely. That afternoon, I calmly sat at the kitchen table. Bryce beside me. Quinn sent fireworks emojis, futile protest. Mom sent debt forms, collection letters, ultimatums. I ignored them, focused on the future. Every message reflected their dependence and manipulation. My silence amplified it. Departure day, I packed methodically. Family calls, messages, threats, all exposed. I stood firm. Dad's last attempt, pleading tone. Quinn screamed betrayal. Mom begged one final time. I ended the video call, blocked numbers. The house was quiet. The burden lifted. Freedom belonged to me. 3 weeks later, Raleigh. New apartment. Bryce arrived with luggage, cementing our chosen life. Sunlight streamed through the windows, boxes stacked neatly. The air filled with independence. The new team lead, Fletcher, organized relocation, housing, and mentorship. Every professional detail in order. Consequences caught up with the family. Quinn's credit frozen. Forced into debt counseling, working part-time to cover basics. Mom and Dad scaled back, finances under control. Aunt Lynn's meddling backfired, revealing her manipulation. At work, Shelby Grant's attempts to undermine me failed, documented. I was promoted, defenses strong, boundaries respected. Enabling no longer rewarded. Months later, Bryce and I established routines. Carpooling, hikes, lunches, quiet nights. The apartment became a sanctuary, built from years of repression and decisive action. Every savings, every boundary, a new cornerstone. Freedom, independence, partnership, spoils of a long war. At night, I occasionally reviewed saved voice messages. Quinn's fragmentary apologies, Mom's factual statements devoid of manipulation. Remnants of their control. I had weathered storms, resisted guilt, reclaimed the narrative. The cycle was broken. Every morning in Raleigh, sunlight lit the apartment. Bryce brewed coffee. I organized reports. No pressure, no ultimatums, no manipulation. Victory wasn't through anger, but precision and resolve. Those who once tried to control, manipulate, and guilt me now trembled powerless. My silence, refusals, and relocation were exacting revenge. At work I thrived. Precise analyses, flawless reports. Raleigh offered promotions, recognition, mentorship. Career trajectory unfolded uninterrupted. Shelby's minor sabotage was powerless, neutralized by documented achievements and focus. Every day reinforced one lesson. Preparation and boundaries are stronger than confrontation. At home, Bryce and I cooked, organized, and laughed freely. Financials displayed growth, recovery, potential. The apartment was a safe haven, built from restrained anger and decisive action. Occasionally, family messages came. Quinn struggling, Mom adjusting to fixed income, Dad silent. The web no longer bound me. My actions created distance, protection, clarity. The past could no longer interfere. Boundaries ensured it. At night, sorting the living room, I reflected on the process. Lost condo, transfers, failed courses, endless enabling. Each sacrifice was a chain, each refusal a key. Raleigh was the crystallization of strategy, restraint, and resolve. Freedom was tangible. The war was over. The battlefield quiet. Victory wasn't dramatic but reclaimed life, money, and inner peace. Family dependence no longer dictated my choices. The once frightening boundaries became lifelines. Sweet autonomy, strengthened with every unapologetic act. Bryce and I toasted in our new apartment. Red wine glasses clinked softly. City skyline reflected in the windows. No calls, no ultimatums, no manipulation. Only us. Life reclaimed. Enemies had shouted, demanded, manipulated, but they collapsed before steadfast will. This wasn't theatrical triumph, but precise, deliberate, genuine victory. Boundaries upheld, freedom absolute. Every email, spreadsheet, and block number dismantled their control. I am now the architect of my own life. Bryce by my side, free, fearless, unstoppable.